It's good. It's good, but it could be better. And that's what I want. Thanks for listening, and go Commando. So the Flesh and Blood World Championship is only a few weeks away now, which means that folks from all over the globe are going to be converging on Philadelphia in the United States to compete for top honors within our game. But there's also a lot of folks, like myself, who are converging on Philadelphia to just be part of the spectacle, be part of the events, be there, and heck yes, play those side events and grind those tickets. Now, despite Worlds being one of the biggest events of the year, the side event schedule is honestly nothing super special, save maybe some of the promos you'll be going after. Furthermore, we had the announcement of Silver Age, which becomes legal that weekend, but there are no Silver Age events in side events, at least not yet. So today I want to give my feedback on the event schedule and ask for maybe someone will listen and a little help. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, my Flesh and Blood friends. Welcome back to the channel, and happy Flesh and Blood Tuesday. That's right, coming to you on a different day than normal, right? Normally it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but today we're doing a Tuesday because I do expect this cast to be of only interest to very specific people, so I didn't want to use up one of our normal slots. But I do think this is really important, and it's also a call for action, right? We've seen time and time again that grassroots support, grassroots feedback can affect change. And today I'm going to argue and ask for help on the Worlds Philadelphia, the Worlds Championship side event schedule that will be happening in Philadelphia. Now you can see I've got some talking points over there to keep me on track, and I won't have this be very long, but the gist is this. We've introduced Silver Age. They've gotten very clear feedback that people don't want to play LL, and this is basically the end of Blitz, and there's only one Blitz event per day, and also, especially to me, the timing of a lot of these events don't make sense in terms of making the next one, so I'll explain what I'm talking about. Now, if you are like me, you're going to the World Championship not to be in Worlds, not even going to go to the Calling, which very few people are, maybe the Battle Hards on Sunday, whatever, but you're going to be looking at side events. No question. So we're going to go through the schedule. So we'll talk about side events with the Go Again package first off. So $140 gets you 2 silvers and 2 bronze. And, you may look at that and you'll be like, well, I don't really care about the cards. I don't really care about the playmat. But the reality is this is a really good purchase. This is not me advertising and shilling for them. It's just true. Like if you're going to go to the event, you basically, think about it. You get 2 $40 tickets and 2 $20 tickets. So for $20, you're getting a playmat and the cards, right? That's pretty good value. Even if I don't know who you're going to sell them to. Fair enough. There's going to be a ton of them around there, but you get my point, right? $20 for a playmat and one of those packs of cards. It's pretty reasonable value in terms of the $20 upsell versus if you were to just a la carte pay for what you wanted to do, right? So that, again, I'm not shilling for it, right? But I've done this before, and buying the package is a good value. It is, as long as you can do the thing. But remember, you can always take your tickets and you can upgrade them. So if you only have a $20 ticket left and you want to enter a $40, you can give them the 20 and then just pay the balance, right? So you're not losing any money there unless, of course, you don't use your tickets, because then the trade-in ratio is really bad. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and talk schedule optimization first. Okay, so let's go through the schedule. So on Friday, starting at 9 a.m., it starts with a CC double, perfectly fine. Then we go to Super Slam Sealed. There's another Super Slam Sealed later in the day. We then go to a Commoner event, and then we have another Commoner event later in the day at 3. We then have a Classic Constructed at 1. There's a Living Legend at noon. Fair enough. To be fair, there's only one Living Legend per day, so that's okay. Gives people a taste of that. We'll see how popular that is, but it is what it is. And then we have another Sealed, and then we have another Commoner. And then at 4 o'clock, every single day, by the way, every single day is Blitz at 4 o'clock. We then end with a Classic Constructed at 5. And then the draw every single day, every single one of these days is going to have it's going to have a 6 p.m. promo event, so it's Dash on Friday, Florian on Saturday, and Prism on Sunday. Now, these are going to be big draws. So what that means with the 6 o'clock for the most people, or for a lot of people, if you've been to these events before and people are trying to do like the E-Pod event or the Ravenous Rabble event or whatever it's been, right? People will drop the other side events that they're currently playing to go do this because the value is so, I shouldn't say the value, the chase of that promo card is so high. So with that understood, let's go ahead and look at Saturday. Fundamentally, it's the same schedule, except you obviously have the calling starting at 9, and then you also have a CC, which is fine. And then you have the Gold 4 Commoner, which starts at 11, actually. Usually it starts, or historically it has started at 10. This one starts at 11. That's really neither here nor there. I don't see that being a huge deal. But then again, you have that Blitz at 4 o'clock, and then again a 5 p.m. CC, which is double prizes. Again, well, we'll talk about the schedule logistics, okay? And then Sunday, we have the 2 Battle Hardens 5. That's why this is a longer one, but you have the 2 Battle Hardens that are firing. Remember, the Battle Hardened sold out immediately. The Calling did not. Added another Battle Hardened, which also has sold out. And the Calling remains, not sold out. Let's just say that. And then, aside from changes in, there is a team event that day, which is a full box. Those are usually super attractive. That's the 1 o'clock slot, which is good because that should give you enough time to finish by 5 p.m. Sorry, I misspoke. I said it was the 6 p.m., but what I meant was it was the last event of the day. But the 1 p.m. should give you enough time to finish for the Prism event at 5 o'clock on Sunday. But that also follows Commoner by 1 hour. So like nobody's going to go play that Commoner event, right? I mean, not nobody, but the vast majority of people are not going to play that event. So that's the schedule. Again, the link, you're a smart people. We don't need to go through the schedule because, again, that's not necessarily the point here. But you'll notice, of course, there's no Silver Age on here. Now, again, they had to have the schedule posted way before. Silver Age we've only known what Silver Age is going to be for like a week and change at this point that you're watching this. But the legality is November 13th, and it seems to me that there's a huge opportunity here, again, with 2 Commoner events on every day, or even an LL, or replace one of the sealeds. It seems to me that there should be Silver Age represented. Now, sure, they may be doing Silver Age like on demands. They very well may be doing that. But it seems to me this would be a great starting point for that because, again, we have the format legal on Worlds. So it seems there should be something happening with that to me. Now, again, someone's out there, well, maybe they're going to do something. Yeah, that's the hope, right? That's the whole point here, right? So I would very much like to see that. I'm going with a Silver Age deck or 2 on the anticipation that there's going to be something. But I don't really see the reason to do a surprise of it, unless it's like a play the dev type event. But still, like people would go play Silver Age tournaments. Like it should totally be there. Furthermore, you have a very clear, this is not like my opinion, man. Like you have a very clear data-driven lack of interest in LL. That should extrapolate significantly more to side events. So you have an LL every day. If you can't get people to sign up for your calling, they're not going to sign up for the LL event on Saturday for sure, because that's going to draw all your people. So there's a significant, right? And again, we're looking at the Saturday schedule here. Living Legend at noon. Like, who's going to scrub out from the calling and then go immediately turn around and go play a side event? And then also remember that, like, your side events cost the same amount of money to enter, right? So if you spend, right, regardless, but you generally earn tickets per round, right? It'll be like a 4-round event cap, and you earn tickets per round. So you are then even more or less incentivized to join a small event, because your return is less. You still cost you $40, or if, in this case, it would be, Living Legend double prices. So it would cost, and it's a silver, so it'd cost you $40. But if you run less rounds, because there's less people that enter the event, your return on investment's lower, right? So the whole thing really starts stacking in terms of like just bad value. Now, sure, maybe they run a 4th round, but I don't think they do. But I could be wrong on that. Let me know in the comments. And if so, my return on value thing is a irrelevant comment. But even so, I think this is going to be a very small event. And we've all been at events before where they're like, please, somebody come join XXX event because I don't know if we're going to fire, right? We'll see. All right. Finally, and this is probably the biggest one for me where I'm really asking for help. and there's two parts on the Blitz, but this is Blitz's send-off. And it, again, I acknowledge that this schedule is very similar to a lot of the more recent calling events. But this is Worlds. There should be more, and there should be more variety. I just feel that way. And for Blitz only being one Blitz a day, when this is the last one, capped at 4 rounds, I think that feels really bad. I would really like to have a Blitz event every day. I'd like to have a Blitz event like in the morning every day. I think that's a reasonable request. And I think it's a bummer that it's not. It's like, it just feels like they hate Blitz so much that they're going out of their way to just like, I don't know. And maybe they take Blitz away and do Silver Age. Like maybe that's what they're going to do. I don't know. But that feels really bad. Now, the last part here is I really want to talk the non-optimal logistics of a lot of this. Now, to understand my point here on a lot of this is that you need to understand that the side events at these large type of events, these side events do not always run super efficiently. And and it has nothing to do, well, I mean, obviously the better judge and the better TO that you have, because not all judges are TOs, right? It's a big thing, right? So you're asking a lot of judges to go do this and they're like, well, I'm a really good judge, but I have no idea how to like TO an event, right? So they learn over time, and part of the way that they make these folks learn over time is by giving them side events to run, right? But out of that, again, if you've done these side events before, some of them move really slow. So, think about the compounding challenges you have for a 4 p.m. Blitz event, trying to make that 6 p.m. event for a promo dash or a promo Florian. First off, you have 4-round event that should be 35 minutes around, and you're going to go, because you're going to have, 30, 40 people in the event. It's going to go to time every single time. So already you're going to, best case scenario, have folks not playing round 4 in this Blitz event so that they can drop to go do the promo Florian thing. Right? It's going to, or dash or whatever, right? Like, again, if you've been to these large events before, it totally happens that way. So you're going to have folks not doing their last rounds, they can make it in time. But also, as I know as dumb as it sounds, but there's a risk that people may not even be able to finish their 3rd round. Because again, you're going to go to time on every round, and that assumes you start right at 4 o'clock, which is not going to happen. It assumes that the minute the game is logged, they're firing the next round, which usually the judge has to stand there, wait for the round to finish, then go back, report, tell them to fire the next round. 6-7 minutes later, they come saunter because they got to walk across the hall, wait in line, talk to the guy, get back. Again, so you're like, even best case scenario, you're looking at like 50 to 55 minute rounds. And again, I've been at ones before where it's been Blitz and it's taken over an hour to fire. Now that is the exception, not the rule, but it is a thing, right? So it is very realistic for this 4 p.m. that you're only having people. So your only Blitz event of the day, best case scenario, people aren't finishing the full thing. If they so choose to do this, which most people will, because if you're there for side events, right? So again, there's a lot of, well, you don't have to play it. I get it. You're right. You don't. You don't have to go play the Blitz. You don't have to go play the promo thing. But it just seems to me that this could have been more optimally set up to where maybe it would have been, I don't know, like a limited type event to where folks could still get their cards, get the most value out of it, and then go to the next event, as opposed to having, all of that stuff earlier in the day and then shortchanging Blitz. And it doesn't even have to be Blitz, right? The same argument you would make for Commoner. And to this point, let's go look at the 1 p.m. Classic Constructed. Now that's 5 hours to run 4 rounds of Classic Constructed. There's a pretty excellent chance that it's done, or there's a pretty excellent chance that most people are done with their 4th round by 6 o'clock. But I bet you the tournament won't be over by 6 o'clock. Again, maybe everyone finishes their rounds early. But if you're looking at 55-minute rounds plus some slop for slow play, and then the back and forth, you're looking at hour and 5, hour 10 to fire all these rounds. And again, that's 5 hours, so fine, right? I think the 1 o'clock's perfectly fine, but I'm trying to paint a picture here of just the logistics of even that, right? So I would very much like to see, like, honestly, the, crack, shuffle, play. Well, the problem with limited is that you have build times. So I'll grant you that, right? But either way, hopefully you understand my point here is like the only Blitz events that they're offering all weekend basically have no chance of finishing the tournament on the up and up, because there are going to, right, whether it's you being the player, whether it's every single player, there are folks that are going to drop, and it's true. So picture painted, I hope, at least. I would really like to see Silver Age. I'd like to see Blitz. I'd like to see more than one Blitz, and I'd like to see it earlier in the day. And then someone else out there is going to be like, well, they don't, Andrew, you could just do on demands. On demands don't consistently fire. Like, you go up there, they give it a little beeper thing. You might have to just wait all day and never fire. So you can't count on that, and you have to execute to the schedule. So we are, for many points, at the mercy of the schedule. So the last point here is, no, it's not too late. Someone out there is going to be like, well, they've published a schedule, it's too late. No, it's not, right? No, it is not. And they have the perfect out to that of, well, we had to get something in place, but now that we've announced Silver Age, here's the real schedule. Now, does that involve moving Blitz to an earlier time? Probably not. But they could definitely modify this schedule and have Silver Age on there. I mean, again, you guys, you all know, you folks all know I'm a huge fan of Commoner. I have no problem with there being 2 Commoner events a day. But do we need 2 Commoner events a day, or like, could one of those be Silver Age? I think it could. So anyway, that's my piece. I'm not going to claim to have the correct answer of when everything should be, but I've laid out the challenges involved in some of the logistics here, which are very non-optimal. I've laid out the challenges in terms of what I believe to be non-optimal choices of formats and when those formats are. And I'm hoping for help. I'm hoping for change. And I would love to have some other folks out there support more team events. I'd love to see more team events. And why is the team event on Sunday? I mean, not probably. I get it. It's because they're waiting for the calling stuff to scrub out, but everybody's going to be in the Battle Hardened that day. So, like, honestly, now that you know that no one wants to play the calling, put the team event on Saturday, right? That makes sense to me. And then, the hall's open later anyway, which feeds the team event. So there's a lot of things that, based on the unique situation of this particular case, could be better. And again, this is Worlds. It's your biggest event of the year. You're going to get a huge draw of people who are there just to be there. Let's maximize on this. I know we can do better, LSS. You're doing great. It's good. It's good, but it could be better. And that's what I want. Thanks for listening, and go Commando.